I'm gonna lose it with some of you in a minute, okay? Are you retarded? They're not wearing wetsuits all the time, are they? You're coping so hard, it's unbelievable, man. If this guy was my therapist, I would myself after the first session.
What he wants is like absolute control in like various facets of this person's life.
Just literally make shit up. Just make it up. This guy, Noah Sampson, you know this guy? He's released a video about the situation. Literal, the physical personification of soy has released a video about it. Let's see what he's got to say about the whole affair.
To the show, NoahSampson.com. Jonah Hill, who you may have known from some movie or a show, sent some wacko stuff to his ex, whose name is Sarah Brady. It's causing a bit of a firestorm on the internet, and we're going to look at what was said, and break it down, and talk about it a little bit, because I think it's interesting and fun, and I'm bored, so I'm making a video. Plain and simple, if you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past, beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something, I am not the right partner for you. If
literally nothing wrong with that. Literally absolutely nothing wrong with that at all.
These things bring you to a place of happiness, I support.
Here's the other thing as well that I was thinking about too. I talked about reading it in context, right? I talked about reading it in context. But like, I'd presume that these boundaryless friendship are also one of the issues that they're having in terms of some of this surf stuff too. And that goes beyond the fact that surfing is something that is likely to be sexualized, particularly by men. Why do we have to act? Why do we have to sit here and act like surfing is a totally innocent act with no sexual connotations whatsoever? When everyone's there, the guys are in their fucking shorts, the women are in their bikinis and whatnot. Like, yeah, obviously there's a sexual undertone to surfing that exists. That is fucking undeniable. Because people are acting like having an issue with your partner going surfing with men is like a crazy thing to be worried about. So you're attracted to children that... Are you... Okay. I'm going to fucking lose it with some of you in a minute, okay? You are just denying reality. If you're denying, right, that if a woman that you were dating, that maybe you had some other issues with too, a woman that you were dating was like, oh, hey, I'm off to go surfing with Chad, Steve, Jock, Barry, and Tyrone, right? And off she went out the door in like a little string bikini. You would at least be like, wait, what? What's going on? Would you not? Would you not? Would you just be like, oh yeah, no problem, honey, don't worry about it, and not think twice about it? At the very least, you would have a sort of step back and go, oh, I don't know, that feels a bit weird. I don't like that. Okay, yes, sometimes surfers do. That's correct. But sometimes they don't. And they're not, and this is the other thing as well. Are you fucking retarded? They're not wearing wetsuits all the time, are they? Are they not wearing fucking wetsuits all the time? Are they sat on the beach wearing their fucking wetsuits afterwards? You fucking morons. You're like literally, there's this absolute fucking cope that I just hate of this stuff, right? Where it's like this kind of like, pretend ignorance. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, Chad. No, they're wearing wetsuits and they're just there to surf. Complete cope to act like there's no reasonable, questionable sexual element that might exist that you might be concerned with. Particularly if the woman that you're with has like dated surfers in the past or had I don't know what the full concept is. Maybe there's other stuff there that feeds into that too. But everyone just acts like, oh no, they go down there in their full wetsuit and they surf and then they leave and nothing else happens. The same would be true for any other hobby. You're coping so fucking hard, it's unbelievable, man, okay? You're coping so hard, it's unbelievable. Chess. What if they played chess in their spare time? Is that sexual? Is that a sexual thing like surfing might be? Like, you're coping.
It, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for a romantic partnership romantic partners, sorry, my boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. So before we get into the content of the text, why are we talking about this? What's the context here? And well, the internet has actually had pretty mixed reactions.
So here we go. It's, oh yeah, men's boundaries, even if, you know, are just not worthy of consideration. They're just insecure, small dick, incel energy. Sure,
interestingly enough, with one side of people saying these are insane, manipulative, and the other side of the internet says this is awesome and dope. And the fact that you guys aren't together means you dodged a bullet, Jonah, because these boundaries are normal. That's the scary part and what we're going to look at. The next part of these messages.
Yeah, it is fairly normal to like not want your partner to be in situations where there could be some sort of sexual undertone that you've got no insight or any control over. Yeah, obviously. Why are we acting like, you know, your partner going and doing something with a bunch of guys where she may have a history of having like issues or boundaries with her guy friends? Why are we acting like we'd all just be like, yep, cool, no problem, off you go? I wouldn't be able to have a job or hobbies if my husband had those boundaries. Why not? What about those boundaries that stop you from having a job? What has he said there that is like you can't fucking work in an office with someone else or something? What?
Is where Jonah sent some screenshots from her Instagram. And
also remember that this fucking retard has barely looked into this. He just wants to virtue signal and soy out about it, okay? So obviously he hasn't done any meaningful research into any of this, and he is just going to immediately accept her framing of this with no scrutiny because he just wants to come out here and defend women. Yeah, women, I'll defend you, don't worry. Yeah, men are bad, women-based.
Then wrote the following: respect however you want to live your life, you only get one. Sort of done with explaining myself. She said, 3 removed, not the video yet. It is my best surfing video. Would you feel different if the cover frame was different? Any more specific ones that bother you? Yes, one that isn't of your ass and a thong. Not a thong, but K. Insecurity in relationships is a totally normal thing. You know, you really like someone and you're like, oh, I really like them. What if something bad happened? What if they meet someone that's cooler and more handsome and taller than me? What happens then? Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. I don't want to lose them. But that's something that you can work through with your partner and you can make it a-okay.
Wait, what the fuck?
Them who like someone, not a thong, but K. Insecurity in relationships is a totally normal thing. You know, you really like someone and you're like, oh, I really like them. What if something bad happened? What if they meet someone that's cooler and more handsome and taller than me? What happens then? Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. I don't want to lose them. But that's something that you can work through with your partner and you can make it a-okay.
Bear in mind that this couple was in couples therapy at one point. Like, going to couples therapy is perhaps the most ultimate way that you can try and resolve some of these issues. So clearly Jonah was trying to work through it. Obviously, again, he's just basing it on the worst possible interpretation of the worst messages that he's seen in this drama. He's not looked at it broadly, and he's going to have like no nuance or particularly unique insight into this. It's going to be Jonah Hill bad, Jonah Hill abusive, woman is based and is worthy of no criticism.
This crap. What's surfing with men? Surfing.
Oh my God! Again, they focus on the thing that they go, oh, what? The surfing thing. Oh my God, the surfing thing. Clearly, contextually, there's other things happening there, right? Which go beyond just the surfing with men. This is what all these fucking retarded freaks have done. They focused on the surfing thing, the surfing thing. What about all the other things that are there, okay? And also, again, even the surfing thing in and of itself, right? I don't get this idea like we're acting like we would just be completely and utterly comfortable with the idea of our partner like going out surfing with a bunch of dudes. Okay, I'll ask you, chat, right? If your partner was like, I'm going out with 5 dudes and we're going to go surfing together, okay, would you be completely and utterly comfortable with that with no questions asked? Because I would at least ask a couple of questions about that and just want a bit of insight into what's going on at the very least. And then on top of that, if there's other issues too, that might make it even harder to just accept that as a thing that happens.
The thing where you're by yourself on a board in the middle of the ocean. What is that? Why? How insecure and unhealthy does it have to be for you that to be something that you're saying? Now, many have pointed out that this post is a pretty egregious misuse of therapy language, like boundaries, the idea of
Pretty egregious misuse of therapy language.
Posting
okay.
pictures in a bathing suit, how that's transgressing his boundaries. When this is something that he had praised before in her DMs, see there's the emoji saying, wow.
He reached out to her when she was single and was attracted off of the back of a surfing photo. Okay? Why are we acting like it's completely insane and unreasonable that he might look at that and think, I did that, maybe someone else might do it, okay? Or alternatively, maybe he expects a different level of behavior when they're in a relationship together versus when she's single.
Nice photo. She wrote in the caption, yep, kind of like unbelievable that a man who sent me shit like this would then be upset I didn't read his mind and take down pictures of that once I was in a relationship with him. It's just very possessive, manipulative behavior, obviously. It goes in line with a lot of manosphere stuff where the guys will sort of seem to be exaggerating and using hyperbole when they say that it's cheating for a woman to have Instagram. You know, for a woman to post pictures of herself while not wearing a ghillie suit. And the thing is, it's really not hyperbolic because that's the mentality of a lot of people. That by showing yourself on the internet, inevitably a bunch of men are going to DM you and then you're going to cheat because you don't trust the person.
No. It's not just that. It's not just that aspect of it, okay? The very act of posting like a thirst trap or a picture of yourself in a bikini or something like that can solicit a sexual response from your male followers, okay? And the problem with that is that it could be completely innocent. You could just be posting a picture of yourself in a bikini because you want to, you know, just put yourself a picture of a bikini of something that you're doing. And that sexualization might occur even outside of you wanting it. But also, it can be that you're posting the picture because you're seeking out sexual attention from strangers. And as a man in a relationship with a woman, you might say, I'm not comfortable with that. I don't want to see you being sexualized by other men. And again, if a woman doesn't like that, if a woman wants to post bikini pictures and sexualized pictures or whatever, whether it's intentional, not intentional, whatever, thirst traps, whatever, she can do that. And Jonah Hill is just saying, you can do that. I'm just not interested in a relationship for that to be going on. There's this, like I say, it's this kind of like cope semantic argument about the boundaries thing. Obviously, Jonah Hill is saying that in a relationship, he's got certain things he does and doesn't want to happen. And he's referring to those things as boundaries. And then the woman can decide whether or not she wants to engage in that or not. But because he's using it in a way that isn't exactly correct, like technically, yes, a boundary is something that you don't want to be breached on you, we use this in like common parlance all the time, right? Like I think we'd all agree, if a guy said, my boundary is you're not allowed to sleep with other people, right? I think we'd all agree and accept that in its totality, even though it's not exactly correctly the correct usage of the terminology.
Somebody who could best explain the boundaries thing is this guy from TikTok called Therapy Jeff. I know Therapy Jeff. He's a Therapy Jeff, and let's hear what he has to say about this.
Jonah Hill was using therapy speak to control his girlfriend Sarah, his now ex-girlfriend.
Where's the control? Where's the control? Where's the control? He said numerous times, we can end it if that's not what you... What control is happening here?
And then it's important that we go over this misuse of therapy language, which is kind of a thing these days, and how it can be super problematic.
Yeah, normally it's women. Normally it's women that are doing this, okay? I tell you what, I can't fucking wait for fucking discount iDubbbz, discount pussy iDubbbz take on women weaponizing therapy language.
As it masks controlling behavior under a commonly accepted positive concept, in this case, boundaries, language, which is kind of... It's important that we go over this misuse of therapy language, which is kind of a thing these days, and how it can be super problematic as it masks controlling behavior under a commonly...
Oh, you cannot say this as a therapist. Jonah Hill was using therapy speak to control, gonna lose his license. Really? That sounds pretty extreme.
Accepted positive concept, in this case, boundaries, making it harder for the person on the receiving end, Sarah, to challenge it. Okay, so Jonah is basically telling his professional surfer girlfriend, I am not going to be with you.
By the way, I'm not sure exactly what the nature of this surfing is. People keep calling her like a surf instructor, professional surfer. I think she referred to herself as a semi-pro surfer who's currently in law school. And I think the reason people are doing this is they're trying to put this onus on the idea they're trying to put this onus on the idea that like he is restricting her opportunity for work or something like that, right? By doing this. It's like they're trying to make it like saying to her about the surf thing is the equivalent of her saying to him, you can't act in a movie with a woman anymore. Where I don't really think that that's quite true. And again, I would just say again, if she really wants to do all of these things, she's more than welcome to do it. But Jonah Hill is just saying, I don't want that to happen, you know, whilst I'm in a relationship with you. And the other thing about this too, we focus so much on this surfing with men thing. What does that even mean? Like what, you know, like I'm pretty sure he doesn't mean if you go down to the beach and you surf and there's a man there as well, you can't do that. So there's probably more specific behavior that he's calling out.
If you surf with men, have boundaryless friendships with men, model, post pictures in a bathing suit, or post suggestive pictures, and are friends with women who are in unstable places. He goes on to say that these are my boundaries for a romantic relationship. Jonah's use of the term boundaries in this message is a misuse of the concept. A boundary is a healthy limit of...
If this guy was my therapist, I would kill myself after the first session. Just putting it out there.
A person sets for themselves to protect their well-being and integrity. It is a rule or guideline that one creates to identify reasonable, safe, and permissible ways for others to behave towards them and how they'll respond when someone passes those limits.
Okay, this is such a retarded take. This is such a retarded take. Yeah, in your technical fucking language or whatever. But if someone said my boundary is you can't suck another guy's dick, I'm pretty sure we'd all agree. Like, for example, someone might say, oh, I don't mind, if you talk to another guy, obviously, but like a boundary for me is if you were to like have sex with him or kiss him or something like that, or flirt with him or send him naked pictures. And even though that doesn't fit within what he's describing as a boundary, we'd all accept it and go, yeah, that's fair enough, Call it an ultimatum.
Limits. However, in the message Jonah sent to Sarah, he is not setting boundaries that protect his emotional well-being. Instead, he is dictating what behaviors and friendships Sarah is permitted to have.
How is he dictating friendships there, right? He's talking about boundaryless friendships. Yeah, fucking a newsflash for you, okay? Here's a newsflash for the retards out there. But if you're in a relationship with someone, the kind of relationships you have with the opposite sex are likely going to have to change at least a bit and have some boundaries on them. Right? Am I insane here? Yeah, obviously, if she's often, mincing about with her fucking surfer friends and there's no boundaries and she's engaging in friendships in ways where there's possible movements towards other things that go beyond friendship, you're probably not going to want that to happen.
He's essentially instructing Sarah on who she can be friends with. What she to have. He's essentially...
Where's he doing that? This is such bullshit. He's essentially instructing Sarah on who she can be friends. Where is that happening?
Instructing Sarah on who she can be friends with, what she can do professionally, and how she can show up online. This is not an example of healthy boundary setting. Instead, it reflects an attempt at control. It demonstrates a lack of respect for Sarah's autonomy and individuality. Jonah's message is more about restricting Sarah's behavior to suit his comfort levels.
This dude should be fucking struck off, okay? This dude should be fucking struck off for invoking his fucking therapy shit and doing all of this analysis of a fucking text message. Are you serious? Okay? And on top of that as well, right? On top of that as well, I don't have anything else. That's all I got to say on that, actually.
And insecurities, rather than expressing his feelings or needs in a healthy manner.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Love you, Jeff. One thing that was sort of fascinating to me about this whole thing, but also very unsurprising, was the amount of people supporting Jonah in these boundaries, kind of just telling on themselves about their sort of demonic views about relationships. Here's real Candace O, aka Candace Owens, some conservative.
Oh, you're telling on yourself. Oh, you're telling on yourself with this, aren't you? You're basically just a rapist.
Lady. There's literally nothing wrong with Jonah Hill's leaked text messages regarding what he wants in a partner. But there's plenty wrong with women in society today. Basic respect for your partner is now being labeled as misogynistic from insecure women. Anytime you go
I tell you what, this guy, right, despite not wanting it to happen, he would sit in the corner and willingly watch his partner get stuffed with 5 cocks, okay? And fucking get the glizzy. Get the glizzy all over her. That's what he would fucking do, okay? This is the kind of leftoid guy, right, that is so fucking spineless, they can't even assert any sort of boundary in a relationship, so they'd end up there recording a fucking his missus getting gangbanged, okay? Desperate for it to stop, but having no means or balls with which to actually say that he wants it to stop, okay? He's the E-fuck guy. He's the E-fuck guy there filming his wife getting fucked, okay? And he's there going, oh, maybe I've changed my mind about this. Maybe we shouldn't do it. And she's there going hell for leather. No sign of stopping. No sign of giving up. And she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? No, I don't want it. And he's okay. And he can't fucking... There's no way he can stop it, so he just lets it keep going. That's the kind of guy that this dude is, okay?
Into your place of work and you see a man and you turn away and walk towards the wall and then run through the wall like the Kool-Aid man, that's basic respect. Women these days can't do that because there's something wrong with them. Notice the framing there of what he wants in a partner as if it's just preferences, you know? We've seen the preferences card used before when what he wants is like absolute control in like various facets of this person's life.
Hey! Can you not, can you... It's this overstatement of harm that drives me wild. Like, they're acting like he's trying to, like, put her in a box and lock the key away and just open it up for fucking rotten bread and water being chucked in. Also, if it was really that bad, why did she stay with him for so long and go to couples counselling? Clearly, she wanted to try and pursue something and try and engage with what he wanted in some fashion. Oh
and to be able to fully restrict their behavior with no recourse whatsoever for the relationship and for what that means for the person and their own.
No recourse that they were in couples counselling. Why are people missing this? They went together to couples counselling. Clearly they were trying to figure something out together with this. Clearly she was engaged in that process too. This idiot probably doesn't realise it, but there's obviously this other stuff that we've looked at, which pretty clearly demonstrates to me that she's definitely got at least the fucking hallmarks of perhaps being this kind of bitter ex that doesn't like the fact that he's moved on so quickly and now wants to destroy his life. None of that is getting analysed in this. It's literally just looking at the text message and going, yeah, well, he's basically trying to rape her in a box.
Own relationships in their own life. Here we had Devin Booker, who's a basketball guy. Apparently he shows support for Jonah Hill. He put a salute emoji there. So here you have all these fantastic Twitter blue replies. The first reply you get is the emoji that's already in the post. If you pay for Twitter blue, fuck you. Nice. More emojis. That's good. Thank you. Thank you for your input. What all men should do. Good. He did nothing wrong. This is a good tweet in my opinion. If your boyfriend says not to post that bikini pic, ask him if that's the Jonah Hill he wants to die on. Very good. I like it. Very good. Very good. I like it. Remembering that one time Jonah Hill's co-star refused to kiss him for a wedding scene, so they had to use CGI for it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Why did that... Why? What happened? Very good. Good, very good. I like God. Oh my.
Maybe it's because Jonah Hill doesn't want to kiss people that he's not in a relationship with. Because I mean, this came up in the messages. This came up in the messages, didn't it? I think they talked about this, and she'd agreed to the kiss to happen, but then it didn't happen anyway. I think on set they agreed it didn't need to happen. The CGI was because of COVID, was it? This movie came out in 2023, though. I think there was a message about it, and it just said that they didn't have chemistry on screen together, so they didn't do the kiss, and they CGI'd it.
My God. Why did that... Why? What happened? Very good, very good. I like it. Jonah and I were both uncomfortable going ahead with the kiss. It wasn't just me, y'all. There was no physical chemistry between us at all. Y'all think it's awkward with CGI? The real thing would have looked worse. Oh, okay. You learn something new every day, I guess. There's a few other perspectives on this that I want to share that I thought were interesting and seemed to be indicative of a lot of people's experiences. So let's check those out right now. Let me clear something up for the men of Twitter. Jonah Hill wasn't actually offering to leave the relationship. If Sarah Brady had agreed it was best to part ways, he would have changed tactics to try to get the outcome he wanted.
So we're literally just predicting what he would have done. What? This is wild. Yeah, well, do you know what it is, right? Okay. You think he was actually offering to leave the relationship. Okay? You're wrong. If she'd have tried to leave, he'd have just put her in the rape cage. And you don't know what happens there, I'll tell you that much. Just literally make shit up. Just make it up. Oh, this is a good take. Someone just totally making something up off the back of reading text messages when limited text messages where you don't know either party. Just make it the fuck up. Fuck me, man.
Wanted. That's how ultimatums and abuse work. Ari Jonah Hill's gross text. My therapist recently changed my life when he stopped me from saying someone was violating my...
Oh my God, wait! This is the person I was talking about. This person is admitting that they used to do the thing that they're then criticizing Jonah Hill for doing now.
My boundaries, and explain that boundaries are values you impose on yourself and your own behavior, not rules you can...
So this person used to do the thing that they're mad at Jonah Hill for doing now. What planet are you on that you think you get to sit there and wag your fucking finger when fucking however long ago you were doing this yourself, apparently? Unbelievable.
Can enforce on other people. There were also some other texts that didn't get shared as widely that I'm sure are great. Take some accountability and operate with respect. It's that simple, because I'm tired of your attitude towards surf culture that contest in that place because I deserve respect, period. I've been more than patient, and then shit like this is still here. Beep that contest, beep that place, and beep not respecting me in every always situation with surf culture. You don't get it. And you don't get me. It's hurtful and unacceptable to me. Get it? I don't know if you get it, or care, or give a shit about that shit, or more than ever after Dr. Stern. Literally just say hello and leave the convo. I love how your therapist thinks I suck. I literally am the best boyfriend on earth. #1 boyfriend. One really interesting detail here is that Jonah Hill made a whole documentary about therapy, about his specific experience with therapists that he really liked. There they are, just two guys hanging out. And so taking everything you've learned from your time at therapy only to spin it back on someone in a be it bad way is really kind of interesting. And you see this a lot now with the popularity of stuff like this on TikTok, where the language around manipulative behavior is just being shifted into a more palatable and excusable manner that allows people to hold power over their partners in ways that they feel are justified.
And do you know who the worst culprits of this behavior are? I see. What group of people broadly are generally more exposed to therapy and therapy language than others? Dude, it's fucking women. It's women in these TikToks that are weaponizing this fucking language more than anyone else. Jonah Hill is based for using the tactics of women against them, as far as I'm concerned.
Beyond what they would have been before. Oh, so dating a guy who gets mad at you for being the person he was attracted to in the first place is a universal experience. Cool. Yeah, if anyone's had experience.
So, okay, this talking point is really annoying for me. Okay? Because you might get into a relationship with someone and you're attracted to them through something they're doing as a single person, but you might not want them to engage in that when you're together because you want to move forward and build a family together. This is and clearly Jonah Hill wanted to build a family, something this fucking idiot has got no interest in talking about, right? So yeah, if you're thinking, I want to get married, I want to have a kid, I want to move forward, you might expect your partner to act differently in order to facilitate that, okay? Because if you're having a kid, if you're going to build a family, you cannot do the things that you used to do. I had to give up aspects of my life that I enjoyed, in order to have kids. Probably the main reason that I don't really do drugs anymore is because I had kids, okay? It's because I had kids. It was a big worry for my ex. You take a bad line of coke and you end up in hospital or some shit. Bad stuff can happen. Yeah? You have to make sacrifices in your life, right? Even things you might really enjoy, because you've got a family and you've got other responsibilities now, That didn't stop my dad. There's other things I could go into. There's other things that I could go into. And that was something my ex spoke to me about at the time. My ex said to me, look, Chud, use my real name obviously.
What if I really, really like drugs?
What? So, and there's loads of stuff, obviously I don't want to go into all the ins and outs of my personal relationship stuff, but there's stuff both ways, that you ask for and expect when you're engaging in an actual relationship and looking to move things forward, okay? And then obviously, if it's a more casual arrangement, if it's a more casual situation, right, where maybe you're not looking to go long term, maybe you're not looking to have a family, maybe you're not looking to have kids, you might be more willing to be permissive of behavior that you might not be permissive of if you were in an actual longer term relationship. I feel like this is such a standard aspect of starting a relationship with someone, is there will be things that you enjoy that you have to give up for the sake of developing a long term relationship. And then people like this act like that's a crazy concept. Is it okay to ask you if a girl asks you to stop watching pornography without her? Yeah, of course. Of course it is. It's okay to ask for anything in a relationship. You know, obviously, I mean, I guess, you know, can I hit you in the face if you don't cook me dinner? Like, obviously, there's obvious exceptions to that. But there's, you know, more reasonable asks you can make of someone that to people outside of the relationship might seem crazy. But exactly, it's a negotiation. It's a negotiation between two people. And then if either party isn't interested or it's not what they're looking for, okay, they can cut ties and move on. But we're acting like, you know, asking and trying to figure out compromises and things that we can come to agreements on is like some crazy thing. And it's this kind of like, it's definitely like a progressive element of this erasure of like more standardized relationship concepts. Do you see what I mean? It's like, I don't know the best words to describe it, but there's this kind of disdain for more traditional formats of relationships, which obviously progressives will often dismiss. And progressives, in some cases, want to engage in a relationship, change or do nothing that detriments themselves, and continue to engage in the same behavior. And this is like, you know, exemplary in some polyamorous relationships, right? And I don't have a problem with polyamory in and of itself. Horses for courses, live and let live. But there's definitely people who, you know, are unwilling to compromise on anything in order to pursue a long-term relationship. So they find ways to kind of squeeze it in, even in ways that it potentially doesn't. So, yeah. Anyway.
For being the person he was attracted to in the first place as a universal experience. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, if anyone's had experiences like this, drop them in the comments, because I think this is like interesting to read about. This is a quote from Trevor Noah, I think.
Hey, women, just reply to the comments. Hey, babe, just drop a comment about how bad men are, and I'll agree with you, okay?
The way my mother always explained it, the traditional man wants a woman to be subservient, but he never falls in love with the subservient women. He's attracted to independent women. He's like an exotic bird collector, she said. He only wants a woman who is free because his dream is to put her in a cage. I've seen—
Oh my God, put her in a cage. The other funny thing about this as well, do you know what else is funny about this, right? This fucking bitch that has released these text messages and is trying to fucking fuck with Jonah Hill out of likely jealousy and revenge. She would have got so much out of the relationship with Jonah Hill beyond the standard that you normally get. She's dating a fucking multi-million Hollywood star. Do you see what I mean? It's like, and you know, again, he was asking for things that if she didn't want to engage with, she could have said no. At the time, it seems like she said yes and tried to work with him to do the thing. You know, I can't speak to her exact reasoning for this, but obviously she is getting additional benefits out of this relationship that you wouldn't get from a standard relationship too. Oh my God, man. Like what is she able to do off the back of dating Jonah Hill that she wouldn't be able to do if she wasn't, you know? Like there's a whole bunch of shit she's probably got access to that she didn't have to before. Oh my God, man, these takes are so infuriating. I'm going to become a red pillar at this rate. You are just punished. You are, as a successful man, there are just ways and means that society punishes you for that, basically. It really is as simple as that. Sorry, guys. The red pillars are right. Okay, we're going to start our new show when I come back. We're going to start our new show.
Folks tweet that if Jonah Hill wanted a girlfriend who didn't post bathing suit pictures or have guy friends, he shouldn't have dated a surfer. But here's the thing, emotionally abusive and controlling men don't want submissive women, they want to take strong women down a peg. That's the whole entire point.
The overstatement of harm is wild on these messages. on these comments.
Also, men like that will never ever be happy. Once you stop posting bikini pics, they'll find something else to hold over your head. The fun for them is the control, not the result. If you have a boyfriend like this, please know that his gaping hole of need and insecurity is there to stay. You can't fix or fill it. He'll paint the constant manipulation as a sign of your relationship's complexity, but it doesn't make him deep, it just makes him shitty. Calling it a boundary doesn't make it any less of a rule. To go back to like how this ties into red pill stuff, the ideal woman or the high value woman according to these men is the submissive, the trad wife, the young, brand spanking new human that you can impart yourself upon. But because
I don't even like it's funny how he's like evoking the red pill stuff, right? Because obviously they're wanting to try to paint Jonah Hill as going to that extreme. But like Jonah Hill is not like in any way a red pill guy out of all of this.
Because reality is so different from this caricature that these men seek after ravenously, what this idea being professed results in is just men going into relationships, and when they don't fulfill these expectations of the ability to exert power and control over someone that may have been viable in the sense that it was less socially discouraged then than it is now, means that you got all these wackos going around trying to make sure women don't have any friends and can't even go out and do their job or go out on the ocean and hang out.
Did you notice the reframing that's happening here? Can't have any friends. Can't do a job. He's pulling this out of his ass. He's overstating what Jonah Hill is saying to make it sound like he's making completely ridiculous, absurd, unreasonable requests.
With the fish. The last thing I want to say here is this is a pretty good example of how the go to therapy.
What's the problem, guys? Just let your girl go out to the boat. Just let your fucking babe go out to the boat on the sea with 20 guys, okay? And have a fucking ultimate ultra giga gangbang bukkake fuck. What's your problem? Come on. You want to control who she's friends with?
The approach to dealing with men that are kind of weird little guys isn't a great catch-all by any means, because you can go to therapy and then all you get from that therapy is validation in your shitty actions and linguistic ammo to fuel your continuation of those shitty actions. That is, setting aside all the other issues with that phrase, go to therapy. Good tweet from Prezzo here, or Jonah Hill yourself. Like that one. Great work, Prezzo. Great work. Prezzo. Okay, everybody, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Just a little quick one, interesting little thing going on. Let me know what you thought of these little shorter ones, and I'll see you so soon. Bye.
That was basically like a more homosexual version of iDubbbz. That's the way I'd consider that one. I don't know if there's any other video. I need to, for my own mental state, okay, and to make sure I don't get my fucking account banned, I got to be careful in how much I indulge in this, because honestly, it is very infuriating. When I said what I just said, I nearly said it, but with a slur, but then that would get me in trouble with Twitch. So this is why I need to be careful with what I say, okay? Oh. Okay, anyway, there we go, guys. Maybe that'll be a segment on YouTube. Who knows? It's more anti-leftoid shit, I guess, in some ways.